Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Thank you for tuning in. Foodie Beauty has brought back the grift. She is once again soliciting donations via her PayPal. And what I want to talk about today is how her video where she made the meat pie, how that may have contributed to this. And also the fact that she is no longer interested in making content for her viewers, and how I believe that the recent Vertigo incident speaks to that. So let's get to it. So as we know, sometime in February, I believe it was the latter part of February, Foodie Beauty started some grifting schemes. The first one was where she was soliciting donations in order to feed the stray cats. And it became very obvious that the reason for this was because she wanted to feed Julia off of the backs of her viewers and those who would be contributing to her PayPal. It also gave her the opportunity to create content which she would not otherwise create. She was able to film herself feeding the cats, so that gave her ideas. Foodie Beauty does not have ideas on her own on what kind of content to create. We've seen this over and over again. So she did that for a while, and then she upped the ante. She decided that she was going to ask for donations via her PayPal, where viewers can make special requests about what they would like to see her eat as long as they provided a monetary donation, so to speak. Shortly thereafter, the minimum donation was increased. I believe it went up to $20. So for a minimum of $20, you could pay Foodie Beauty to eat what you would like her to eat. This was beneficial to Foodie Beauty in a number of ways. Number one, she got to eat for free. She did not have to dig into her pocket for her own meals. Number two, just like with the cats, it allowed her to create content that she would otherwise not have created because the content was inspired by the requests. Number three, anything that she did not spend on those meals, if she happened to have a couple of extra dollars that were left over, she got to pocket this. So she benefited tremendously. Now, while it is believed that the majority of the donations came from Anime and his circle of people, there were in fact some Beezers who did contribute. For example, the Cheesecake Factory meal was via one of her Beezers. They actually sent money specifically asking her to go eat there. Now, there came a point where Foodie Beauty stopped taking these donations, and there was a lot of speculation why. And at the time, my theory was that she stopped them because she could not fulfill them. If people were sending her money to cook something, that is not something that Foodie Beauty was willing to put in the time or effort to do. Foodie Beauty wants to eat out. Foodie Beauty wants to eat specific things. So if she was receiving money to eat at restaurants or to order from restaurants, she was more than happy to do that. But when it came to requests for her to make a specific meal or a certain meal, she was a lot less likely to do that. We saw her do it with the Lady and the Tramp spaghetti meal where Salah made a cameo appearance, but I don't think she did any others where she specifically cooked something. That brings us to the meat pie. One of her Beezers had sent her money and had asked her to specifically make a tortilla. And Foodie Beauty had acknowledged that she had received this particular donation, shall we put it. And she never made it. Days went by, weeks went by, and there was no tortilla. And my apologies if I am not pronouncing it correctly. I do not speak French. However, Foodie Beauty never made this particular meal for this viewer who had contributed. What she also didn't do is refund them. She held on to that money and gave nothing back in exchange. Now, the Beezers started to bring this up. Every couple of days, somebody would bring up this meal that she was supposed to cook for this viewer. And Foodie started to try to avoid the conversation. She would either say, oh yeah, I still have to do this, or oh yeah, I didn't do that yet. And she would try to get off the subject very quickly. People started to say that this particular viewer had unsubscribed because they didn't get what they requested and they didn't get their money back. And As recently as about a week ago, maybe less, Foodie had this to say.
Church basement spaghetti today. Red lipstick maybe after. Hi, Ida. Thank you, Buddha. Ashley, I need a laugh. I'm going through a horrible breakup. Oh, that's the worst. I'm so sorry to hear that. I know. Okay, well, we're here to make you laugh. No tortillere. Oh, yeah. No. Sorry, Rayu. Do you want your $20 back? Hey, Judy, Kitty. I mean, I can make it eventually, but I forgot about it. I'm craving church basement spaghetti. Leave me alone.
Okay, so that clip was from on or about April the 10th, so roughly 2 weeks ago. And we find out several things. We find out that the viewer contributed $20. We also find out that Foodie still had the $20 and had not made the meal. We also see that somebody in the chat brought it up, brought it to her attention. And we see Foodie trying to get off the topic. She tries to offer back the $20, quickly pivots and says she wants church basement spaghetti and to leave her alone. In other words, no intention to actually make the meal and fulfill her end of the obligation for this donation. Now, the only reason that this interaction is taking place is because the Beezers are bringing it up. They're bringing it to her attention. And they tell her that the viewer is upset. And this is when they told her that they believe that that person had unsubscribed. So fast forward to a couple of days ago, and Foodie Beauty produces her version of a meat pie. Foodie Beauty did not intend for this meat pie to be what satisfies the tortillere request. Foodie Beauty, after she got her groceries, was debating what to make. And one of the things that she said that she was craving was a meat pie. Now, let's have a listen to the day that Foodie got her groceries and specifically the first time that she mentioned the meat pie.
And I got a lot accomplished today. I said, the minute I feel better, I am going to be working my butt off, organizing my kitchen, getting it ready to cook, and I did that. So, meal one tomorrow. Actually, I got to make a couple things tomorrow. I prepped some veggies. I found celery. Do you know how much I paid for celery? Actually, just like a couple dollars. And so do you guys put your celery in water? I put mine in little Ziploc baggies. I cut it up and I put water in it to keep it crisp. Thank you, So Dainty. It is from Sephora. I'm sure you guys will want to know. I still have a lot of veggies. But I bought a huge head of cauliflower. I want to make a cauliflower soup. I love it. To keep it fresh, yeah. I love watching other people cook. Celery and peanut butter. Big Koreans. Hardee's and Freddy's. Outrageous. This is what it looks like, Sephora brand. I got ripped off, but I know. So, yeah, I bought a lot of things. Oh, Rayu. Shoot. Yeah, you know what? I have flour. I bought a new flour. Meat. I can make a meat pie.
So prior to going grocery shopping, Foodie Beauty said that she was craving meat pie and I believe meatloaf and other such dishes. And then what we just listened to was following her grocery trip or delivery, where her intention was to make a soup. She had no intention to make the dish that would fulfill the donation request until once again, her viewers reminded her of it. So this means that she had purchased groceries with completely different intentions and therefore was going to now pass them off as fulfilling Rayu's request. Foodie conveniently turned it into that, and when she recorded and put up the video, she specifically titled it Rayu's Meat Pie. And she also acknowledged that the donation had been made several months ago and that she was finally fulfilling it, although it is just a happy coincidence. Now let's take a moment and consider other things that are going on at the same time. It was just YouTube payday. Salah is back and being active again. So he's in the background. We could hear him in her streams, and he's in the chat again. And she did a grocery haul, and now she's making this meat pie and passing it off as fulfilling a donation request. So what seems to have occurred is that there was some type of a focus or a highlight on financial matters, and Foodie got re-inspired to open up the donations again. So what does Foodie do? Foodie puts up a community post, and you're seeing that right here. For those of you who are not in front of a screen, I will read it out loud. She wrote, "Hi guys, restarting viewer sponsorships, but not for places like Hardee's, etc. More for coffee beezes or interesting new restaurants you would like to see me try. Let's be real. If I went out every day and even just bought a coffee that's close to 300 Canadian a month, upside down smiley face. Restaurants are even more. I am more than happy to go out and coffee bees or do whatever you want to see me do, but it will require some help. If you would like to contribute, please send to my PayPal below, and thanks so much in advance. You can also send money to fund a bees of your choice, basically." And then she links her PayPal. Now, there is a lot to be said about this post and the intentions behind it. Number one, she is once again trying to bypass YouTube as far as them getting their percentage of any type of monetary contributions that are made. But more so, she is asking her audience to essentially fund her lifestyle. She's asking them to pay for her coffee and to pay for her meals. At the same time, by doing so, it is the audience who is creating the content. So what is Foodie Beauty's role in all of this? Now, as far as her begging for coffee, she has done this before. I do have a video about the last time that she begged for an iced coffee. The point here is that if she does not want to pay $8 for a coffee per day, she can get coffee and make it at home. If she doesn't want to pay for her fast food or restaurant meals, she can cook at home. It is nobody's responsibility to feed, house, or sustain Foodie Beauty's lifestyle and the various frivolities that she seeks in life. Foodie Beauty has memberships. She offers nothing to her members. Foodie Beauty live streams for the majority of the day. Viewers have the opportunity to give her supers during this time. So to come out and explicitly beg on top of that is really an offense to the Beezers and to anybody else who watches Foodie Beauty. Since I began working on this video, Foodie has come out with 2 more videos, and one is a mukbang and the other is a live stream, and we'll talk about those as well. But the points that she raises in both of them is how she has financial goals and they're saving everything they can in order to achieve those goals. Everybody has financial goals. That doesn't make her any different. It is nobody's responsibility to help Foodie fund or achieve those goals. She got herself into this situation. And yet somehow she is expecting the viewers to get her out of it. She also says in those 2 videos and in subsequent posts and responses to comments that people shouldn't care how others spend their money. I beg to differ, because look what happened. People didn't care how Foodie Beauty was blowing all of her earnings, and now she's out here trying to grift off of innocent people. Now, before anybody says that, oh, Foodie's just strapped for cash, she's out there in Kuwait and her earnings aren't as great. No, Foodie knows that she's grifting and she is enjoying the grift. Let's hear it from Foodie Beauty herself.
Ow. You want me to pet you? Aww. Aww. Yeah, my PayPal is still up. It is paypal.me/foodiebeauty. Why, are you sending me $1 million? My birthday's coming up, guys. No, I'm just joking. We gotta figure out, I want to do a birthday dinner. I gotta think of what to do for Eid, because we're inviting a bunch of, well, a small-ish gathering, but I'm going to make some Canadian cuisine. So what do you think I should make? Honestly, you might think that meatloaf mashed potatoes or puts in is something funny. I gotta go look for cheese curds and real gravy. I'm grifting. Grift gang. I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to be a grifter, actually. Whatever. Chicken Alfredo?
Now, that clip was from a few days before Foodie's birthday, and specifically, it was the day that she met the woman on the beach who told her that people poisoned the stray cats. And we heard it from her own mouth. She doesn't care that she's a grifter. She's essentially proud to be a grifter. So Foodie knows what she is doing. She is essentially trying to get the viewers to fund her life and to fund all of her desires. And she's out here posting and responding to people who are questioning her in the comments. And she's saying that other reactors all do the same thing and that there is nothing wrong with it. But there is. Because again, she has memberships and she has live streams, and people have the opportunity to donate to her should they choose to. And again, Foodie's financial messes and future financial goals are nobody else's responsibility. Everybody has things that they need to do or take care of financially. She claims that she has made so much progress financially, but has she really? Have you made progress when you're essentially begging and grifting for the money to achieve your various goals? It doesn't sound like any lessons have been learned here. Now, there is more to this because I think part of this is also fueled by the fact that Foodie no longer wants to make content. She has demonstrated this several times over the last few months. Let's have a look at some of these examples.
Any plans? Oh, my day's over, hun. It's 11. I'm getting my live out of the way. No, I'm just joking. Listen, my anxiety is bad, and I don't want to go outside at night. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm afraid to, but like, I'm just like, maybe we can start going out. Maybe I can try to in the early morning again. I like going out in the day, like in the morning, you know, even though I'm a night person, but I don't know. I like my evenings. I like to spend with Salah, watching movies. That's my hobby. Sealing. You're not joking? That could happen, Blue Pots. That could happen.
That clip was from roughly mid-March, on or about March 11th. And what's interesting about it is the fact that she says, I'm getting my live stream out of the way. Again, indicating that it is a task, a burden, something that she just needs to get done, not that she is particularly enjoying it. This was also the first indication that she was overdoing live streams and pretty much overdoing content creation. Now let's keep the timeline in mind again. So she made that statement in mid-March, which was a month full of rage. Then there was her birthday, and she went on her visa run for 2 or 3 days. And then we had the boil. And during the whole boil episodes, she was in her room streaming without the camera on. The camera was off for the live streams, but the camera was definitely on when she was doing her mukbang videos for a particular audience. After the boil, the following comment was made, which is also quite interesting.
We've been on for 5 hours? Wow. So I don't have to go...
Are you planning to do 8 hours live?
Yeah. I don't want to have to go live later, and I don't want to have to do any content later.
Then lay down, watch movies, smoke shisha.
Yes. How much is the shisha?
Now that clip is much more recent. That clip is from roughly a week ago when she and Salah were by the pool. This was after she had that interaction with the man who she believed was inappropriate with her. And essentially what she says is that she was trying to do a very long live stream, an 8-hour live stream, because she did not want to create content later on that day, nor did she want to go live later that day. Again, this lines up with the comment that she made the month prior and also supports the notion that she is not enjoying these live streams. She does them just to do them, to get them out of the way so that they could generate some type of income for them. But that wasn't all. The day after she made that comment by the pool, Foodie Beauty suddenly had vertigo. And she stays offline for approximately a day, day and a half or so, and then comes back wearing those big glasses. Now, as I said in the previous video, she did not say that she was wearing those glasses to block out the light because she was getting headaches. No. She said that she was wearing the glasses because she looked sick. Now, Foodie may have had a boil and she may have had vertigo because her health is compromised. The viewers know this and Foodie knows this as well. It's just rather coincidental that she makes those two comments and then suddenly she's having ailments which cause her to either stream from her bed with the camera off or disappear for a day or so. And then in the last 2 days, she said that she is tired of making content. Now, I thought I had clipped that, but it appears that I haven't, but it's in one of her streams over the last couple of days. So what happens as soon as she makes that statement? Suddenly, she has anxiety and she is back to streaming with the camera off. Now, again, maybe this is all true. The boil, the vertigo, the anxiety. However, rule number 1, and then there is a pattern which has emerged here, which I think cannot be overlooked. Foodie expresses that she does not want to make content or that she wants to get it out of the way. And then in the next day, day and a half, she's either streaming from her bed with the camera off or she disappears. And all of this makes us circle back to the grift. Foodie does not enjoy live streaming, so she needs to come up with a different source of income. And what better way to do that than to have people pay her to actually show up on camera, again, something which she seems less and less willing to do, and to fund her meals. And one more thing to note here, ever since Salah's reappearance, both he and Foodie have been extremely, extremely giddy. There has been a lot of laughing, a lot of joking, and she in particular has been very hyper. As soon as she stopped being hyper, as soon as there was that notable shift, the grift began. In her hyper streams, she was actually saying how lucky she is that Salah takes care of everything, that her situation in Kuwait is better because she has to worry about less things, and she doesn't have the financial pressures that she did when she was in Canada. But yet now, all of a sudden, she's no longer in this giddy mood and she is begging for handouts. There is a cycle here. And we have seen this cycle before. We saw it during the entire month of March. So she hit her hyper peak. She's coming off of that now. And I predict there will be a rage. It has already begun. We are seeing it in her responses to comments that have been left for her on her community page and on her videos. And I think that's going to be the next thing that we are going to see. Past behavior predicts future behavior. That is all I have for you today. Thank you all so much for listening, and until the next one.